I never imagined that the person who smiled beside me in every photo was the same person who lit the match to burn my relationship to the ground. It was a Saturday night. The kind that usually smelled like candles, sounded like laughter, and felt like peace. I was wearing his hoodie, dark gray, a little oversized, with the scent of his cologne buried in its threads, and sipping a glass of red wine in my apartment when I saw the message. "You deserve better than her. Just saying." Sent from an unknown number. No name. No profile pic. Just 7 words that struck like an icicle to the chest. I stared at it for a while. My fingers cold, my mind racing. I knew who her was. Me. But who had sent it? And to whom? I wanted to ignore it. I really did. But something in my gut twisted, the kind of twist that doesn't let you breathe until you've found the truth. My name is Ava Bennett. I'm 29. I live in a small city outside of Seattle. I'm a graphic designer, a lover of bad reality TV, and I used to believe my best friend would rather bleed for me than betray me. Her name is Chloe Marks. We met our freshman year in college. She was bold, unapologetic, the kind of person who always walked a little too fast, like she knew where life was going and she wanted to get there before everyone else. We became inseparable. At least, that's what I thought. And then there was Liam, my boyfriend of 2 years. He was quiet, a little guarded, and endlessly kind. Chloe used to joke he was too soft for someone like me. But I loved that about him. He listened when I cried. He brought me coffee, without asking. He told me I made the world feel less cruel. So when he stopped doing those things, when his hugs became stiff and his smile didn't quite reach his eyes, I thought maybe it was just stress. Work. Pressure. Not sabotage. It wasn't until I saw the second message, on Liam's phone, face down on the kitchen counter, buzzing like it had a secret, that the ice in my chest began to spread. I wasn't snooping. Honestly. I was walking past the counter when the screen lit up. Chloe. She doesn't even notice when you're hurting. I do. I froze. My eyes clung to the name. To the words. My hand trembled slightly, but I didn't pick up the phone. I didn't need to. The words burned themselves into my brain like acid etching truth into glass. For a moment, I stood there, paralyzed, betrayed, broken open. The Chloe I knew had seen me sob after fights. She knew everything. My insecurities, the way I feared losing Liam, how I'd stayed up nights wondering if I was enough. And she used it. She twisted it. She offered him comfort while planting seeds of doubt about me. I didn't say anything to Liam. Not right away. I needed more. I needed proof. I needed to know if this was just a bad joke or a well-played game. So I smiled. Pretended. Let the days roll on like nothing had happened. But something had. Something irreversible. A week later, we went to a friend's birthday party. Chloe was there, wearing red, laughing too loud, and sitting just a little too close to Liam on the couch. I watched her place her hand on his shoulder while he scrolled on his phone. Watched the way her eyes lingered on him when she thought no one noticed. But I noticed. I watched everything. And when she saw me watching, she smiled. Not a friendly smile. It was the kind of smile wolves give before they pounce. That night, when we got home, I asked Liam, "Do you still love me?" He looked up from his screen. "What? Do you still love me?" I repeated, quieter now. My voice trembling. He hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. The next morning, he left. He said it wasn't working. That I had become distant. That something had changed between us. He didn't mention Chloe. Of course he didn't. But I could still see her shadow between us. I stayed silent. Let him pack. Let him walk away. And then I cried. Not just for the loss of him, but for the loss of who I thought Chloe was. But my tears only lasted one night. Because when I opened my phone the next day, Chloe had posted a picture of herself and Liam at a coffee shop. The caption read, "Some people find happiness in unexpected places, #healing vibes." And just like that, it wasn't just betrayal. It was war. I didn't react. Not online. Not publicly. I let her believe I was broken. That I was licking my wounds while she played innocent. But inside me, something cold and calculating had awakened. She thought she could take him from me and walk away smiling? She had no idea what I was capable of. I began collecting pieces. Not of my heart, but of hers. I remembered the guy she was secretly texting while dating her ex. The one who knew she lied about her past. I remembered the job she backstabbed a colleague to get. The emails she told me to delete from her laptop when HR started asking questions. I remembered everything. And I wrote it down. Built a timeline. Names. Dates. Evidence. This wasn't revenge. This was justice. One night, I sat in my apartment with a glass of wine and scrolled through old photos. Me. Her. Liam. Laughter in our eyes, the kind that only exists when you believe the world is still kind. I stared at Chloe's face and whispered, "You took everything from me." The screen stayed still, but something inside me didn't. That was the last night I cried over her. Because starting tomorrow, she was going to learn what it felt like to lose everything. Revenge doesn't always come loud. Sometimes it starts with a whisper, a seed, a patient hand brushing against glass, testing its strength before shattering it completely. For the next few days, I studied Chloe the way a scientist studies a specimen. Every post, every message, every story she uploaded. I tracked patterns. Her new connection with Liam was already going public. Slowly, carefully, like she was trying to test the water before diving in. The worst part? Liam didn't look uncomfortable. He looked happy. Or maybe that's what I wanted to believe, that the smile on his face was fake, that he was confused, manipulated. But no matter how much I stared, I couldn't shake the truth. He was moving on. With her. And I wasn't just heartbroken. I was humiliated. The same girl who held my hair when I threw up after heartbreak. The same girl who texted Liam on my behalf when I was too nervous to ask him out. The same girl who cheered at our anniversary dinner was now sleeping in the bed I bought. But Chloe had a weakness. She always thought she was smarter than everyone else. Step 1. I needed an ally. Someone in her orbit, close enough to know what she was planning, but far enough to not suspect me. His name was Zachary Blake, Zach for short. An old flame of hers, the one she never really let go of. He was messy, charming, and absolutely addicted to chaos. We'd met once at a Christmas party. He was drunk, flirting with 2 girls at once, and Chloe had dragged me away with a scoff. That boy will ruin your life just by smiling at you. So, I found him on Instagram. I sent a message. Me. You still talk to Chloe? Zach. Every now and then. Why? Me. You might want to ask her about Liam. He replied within seconds. Zach. WTF? What about Liam? Me. She's seeing him. She was with me when we were still dating. Zach. Wow. She's a piece of work. I didn't say anything else. I didn't have to. Because 2 days later, Chloe posted a story with a caption. Tired of people dragging me for being happy. Stay mad. That's how I knew it was working. Zach confronted her. Probably stirred things up just enough to make her defensive. That was all I needed. A crack in the foundation. I smiled and whispered to myself, Step 1 done. Step 2, the exposure. I remembered something Chloe had confessed to me once, half laughing, over cheap margaritas on my balcony. It was about her internship at a luxury PR firm in downtown Seattle. She had messed something up, bad. Sent a fake press release to a major publication by accident. Her supervisor took the fall because Chloe cried her way out of it. I owe her, she had said. But I'm never telling a soul. Except she told me. And now I was that soul. I opened LinkedIn. Found the supervisor's name, Dana Whitmore. Sent a polite, anonymous tip via her business contact form. You may want to review internal emails from March 2022. Someone else sent that press release, and you took the blame. That's it. No threats. No demands. Just a breadcrumb. If Dana was the professional I assumed she was, she'd follow it. And if she did, Chloe would be in deep trouble. I almost felt guilty. Almost. Meanwhile, I watched Liam from afar. Not in a creepy way, but enough to keep tabs on what he was doing. One night, I saw him at our favorite bookstore, alone, browsing graphic novels, a habit I introduced him to. He looked peaceful, lighter. I walked past without saying a word. But it hurt. God, it hurt. I missed him. Not just the relationship. Him. His eyes. His awkward laugh. His dumb socks with tacos on them. And I started to wonder, did Chloe even want him? Or did she just want to win? Because that's what Chloe always craved. Victory. Validation. She didn't want to love. She wanted to own. But I wasn't hers to beat. Step 3 was the most personal. I still had access to her shared calendar. We used to plan our weeks together, gym, brunches, events. She never deleted the invite permissions. Sloppy. I knew she was planning something big for Liam. I saw the note. Liam surprise dinner, Friday 7 p.m., call restaurant. Perfect. I booked a table at the same restaurant under a fake name 5 minutes earlier. Then, I scheduled an anonymous flower delivery to the manager that afternoon. Roses with a card that said, "For Chloe Marks, tell Liam you're not who he thinks you are." It wasn't cruel. Not really. Just a mirror. Letting her watch herself. That night, I didn't go to the restaurant. I waited for the fallout. And it came fast. Chloe posted nothing. Not a single photo. Not a single story. The next day, I heard from Zach. Zach. Yo. What happened between Chloe and Liam last night? She's freaking out. Me. Didn't she tell you? Zach. She's saying he walked out mid-dinner. Said she lied to him. I didn't reply. Just looked out the window and smiled. Step 3. Complete. But something unexpected happened next. Liam messaged me. It was short. Careful. Liam. I know this is weird. But can we talk? My heart thudded in my chest. I waited 5 minutes before replying. Me? About Chloe? Liam. About everything. We agreed to meet at a park the next afternoon. Neutral territory. Public. Safe. When I arrived, he was already there. Hands in his pockets. Sadness etched into his face like weather over stone. He looked at me like I was a stranger. "I owe you an apology," he said. I didn't say anything. She told me things, twisted things. Said you were seeing someone else. That you were lying to me. And I believed her. I swallowed hard. Why? He looked down. Because I was scared. Things got hard between us, and she made it feel easy. Like she understood. I nodded. She studied me for years. Of course she knew how to imitate comfort. He closed his eyes. I'm sorry. It didn't change everything. But it cracked something open inside me. Maybe not love, but closure. And that was enough. For now. Later that evening, I sat with my laptop, reviewing what I had gathered. Emails. Screenshots. Notes. Even a recording from one of our late-night conversations where Chloe admitted to always needing the upper hand. I wasn't done. She thought her world was stable again. That she could twist the truth into whatever shape suited her. But I still had the final card. And I was saving it for just the right moment. I didn't think there was more to uncover. I believed I had all the pieces: betrayal, lies, manipulation. But that's the funny thing about truth. It doesn't knock politely. It crashes. Like it did the night I got a message from an unknown number. You think Chloe only did this to you? You need to talk to Maya. I stared at the screen for a solid minute, my stomach tightening. Maya. We weren't close. Just acquaintances, really. She had been part of our extended circle in college. Quiet, artistic, gentle. She used to hang around Chloe a lot back then, but then she just disappeared. I clicked on her profile. Still private. Still distant. But her bio had changed. Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. That wasn't there before. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but something about that message haunted me. So I messaged her. Me. I got a text telling me to talk to you about Chloe. Maya. Took her long enough to come back to haunt someone else. Me. What happened? Maya. I'll tell you. But not over text. We met 2 days later at a quiet cafe on the edge of Capitol Hill. She looked older. Not in age, but in weight. Like she had been carrying something no one else could see. And when she finally spoke, I realized I wasn't Chloe's first casualty. I dated someone in college, Maya began, fingers wrapped tightly around her cup. His name was Jordan. He wasn't perfect, but he made me feel seen. You know? Like the world finally made sense. I nodded slowly. I introduced him to Chloe. She was polite, sweet even, but something was off. Like she was memorizing me while we spoke. My pulse quickened. She started sending him messages behind my back. First about surprise parties, then about helping plan gifts. That's what she told me when I found out. That she was just helping. But I later found texts, dozens of them, flirting, mocking me, telling him I was fragile, clingy. Maya looked me in the eyes. She turned him against me, just like she did to you. I felt a wave of nausea rise in my throat. She destroyed me, quietly. And when I tried to confront her, she laughed. Told me I was being dramatic. Said maybe Jordan just wanted someone stronger. She blinked, tears forming but not falling. That's when I left. Changed my number. Deleted social media. I thought if I disappeared, she couldn't reach me anymore. I inhaled sharply. She did the exact same thing to me, Maya. Almost word for word. Maya nodded. She doesn't just want to be loved. She wants to be the only one worthy of it. It was like a dam burst open in my mind. All those tiny moments that never made sense. The time Chloe casually joked about how guys like Liam always get bored fast, and I'd brushed it off. The way she once comforted me after a fight, only to text Liam 5 minutes later to check on him. The way she always knew exactly how to make me feel safe and small. This wasn't jealousy. This was surgical, strategic, planned, weaponized friendship. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept replaying every moment, every conversation, trying to pinpoint the exact second she stopped being my friend and started being my enemy. But then, something told me maybe she never was my friend. I went back to my saved audio files, the recordings I had started making after our fallout. I didn't know what I was looking for until I stumbled across one I didn't remember. It was a voice memo from her. I hit play. Chloe's voice, soft and smug. It's funny how people trust you when you know all their secrets. Ava's so predictable. I bet I could ruin her world, and she'd still think I care. I froze. The audio was dated 2 months before my breakup with Liam. She had planned it. All of it. She was practicing. I didn't cry. I couldn't. I just sat in silence, staring at the screen like it had betrayed me too. That night, I made a decision. I would destroy her exactly how she destroyed me, one whispered truth at a time. I started with the voice memo. I sent it anonymously to Liam. No context, no name, just, thought you should hear this. She recorded it before your breakup. The next morning, he messaged me. Liam, what is this? Where did it come from? Me? You can guess. You deserve to know. Liam, I need to see you. We met again, this time in the same coffee shop we used to go to every Sunday. His face was pale, his hands shaking slightly. She said you were manipulative, he whispered. That you used me. I laughed bitterly. Projection is her love language. She said you pushed her out, that you were jealous of us. She built you two out of my scraps, I said. And you let her. He didn't argue. Instead, he showed me something screenshots Chloe had sent him. Messages where I supposedly said I regretted being with him. That I wanted to explore other people. That I was tired of his emotional needs. Only one problem. They were fake. The fonts were mismatched. The timestamps overlapped with times I was on FaceTime with him. He had never questioned it before. Because Chloe made sure he didn't have reason to. I sat back in my chair and whispered. She forged my words. He looked stunned. She lied about everything. I leaned forward, voice steady. And now, you're going to help me end it. He didn't hesitate. What do you need me to do? Together, we planned it. Liam had been invited to Chloe's birthday party, a grand affair she was throwing to impress her new social circle. Tech influencers, realtors, and PR execs. A perfect place to ruin her. We decided on a truth drop. Subtle, untraceable, and impossible to ignore. The night of the party, I arrived early. In disguise. Just a sleek black wig, simple makeup change, and a fake name at the RSVP table. Inside, Chloe was glowing. Dressed in red, smiling wide, kissing cheeks, sipping champagne. Holding court like she was royalty. But the moment she saw Liam walk in, her eyes locked on him like a hawk. He hugged her. Whispered something. She laughed. Relaxed. Exactly what we wanted. Then, right at 8:47 p.m., her phone buzzed. And everyone around her got a notification at once. Airdropped file. Untraceable source. No name. Just the title. Know who you're celebrating. Inside. Chloe's voice memo. Screenshots of fake messages she crafted. An anonymous testimonial from Maya. One line. Ask her what she did to Ava Bennett. The room went dead silent. Phones lit up. Whispers exploded. Chloe's smile faltered. She looked around, trying to identify the source, but it was too late. The truth was airborne. And it was everywhere. She fled the room like a fire had started. I followed, silently, until she stepped onto the rooftop. Alone. Shaking. Furious. She didn't see me at first. When she finally turned, her voice was venom. You did this. I pulled off my wig. Let her see me. No, Chloe. You did this. I just stopped covering for you. She snarled. You don't get to ruin me. You're nothing without me. I stepped closer. Calm. You've been playing God for years. Pulling strings. Twisting lives. But you forgot one thing. What? She spat. I remember who you were before all the followers. Before the designer bags and curated lies. I know the scared, insecure girl who would rather burn down a house than admit she's lonely. She flinched. And for the first time, I saw fear on her face. Not the kind that screams. The kind that knows it's over. I walked away that night, not needing to see the rest. She would unravel on her own. That was the beauty of the truth. It didn't need help. It just needed light. And I had finally shined it. I should have known she wouldn't go quietly. People like Chloe don't vanish, they regroup. By the next morning, the video had been clipped and posted on 3 TikTok accounts. The audio? It was already a trending sound under #ToxicFriendCheck. The internet didn't know her name yet, but they were intrigued. Speculating. Digging. By noon, someone recognized her from an old podcast appearance. By 4 p.m., her name was attached to the voice memo. And by 6 p.m., she went offline. No posts. No stories. No comments. Silence. But that wasn't surrender. That was strategy. And I was about to find out just how far she would go to rewrite the narrative. That night, I got a knock on my apartment door. I didn't answer at first. But the pounding didn't stop. I looked through the peephole and nearly gasped. Chloe. Her hair was unkempt. Mascara streaked. No heels. No red dress. Just jeans, a hoodie, and rage. I opened the door just an inch, leaving the chain on. Her voice was low, barely contained. You need to take it down? I stared at her. Take what down? You know what? I didn't respond. She stepped closer. This isn't just ruining me. This is harassment. Truth isn't harassment, I said calmly. It's exposure. She narrowed her eyes. You think you're righteous? You think this makes you a hero? No, I whispered. It makes me free. She gritted her teeth. You always needed someone to blame. Maybe if you weren't so insecure, none of this would have happened. There it was. The gaslight. The last defense of a crumbling queen. I smiled. I guess the only difference between us now, Chloe, is I don't need to lie anymore. I shut the door on her face. The next 48 hours were chaos. Chloe sent cease and desist emails through a shady attorney. She posted a statement calling the viral clip AI-generated slander meant to silence and discredit a woman of influence. She DM'd Liam. Claimed I was stalking her. Obsessed. Dangerous. She even posted an Instagram story showing old photos of us laughing, captioned, "She used to be my sister. Now she's trying to end me." Don't believe everything you hear. She had her fans fooled, but she had no idea what I still had. Evidence. Real, dated proof. Screenshots. Voice messages. Journal entries. Video snippets. I had been documenting everything since the night Liam left me, when something inside me broke and another part woke up. And now I had a decision to make. Finish her publicly, or vanish from the fire I'd lit. Liam called me. You okay? No, I said. But I'm getting there. She's unraveling. I know. She's blaming you. She always has. Silence. Then he said, I think she's going to do something worse. I paused. Like what? I saw her.
Today.
She was outside your building. I swallowed hard. What? She was waiting. Watching. She didn't see me. The room felt colder instantly. She won't stop, Ava. I knew he was right. She didn't want to just protect her image. She wanted to break mine. And I had to decide. Would I let her push me back into silence? Or would I fight? That night, I posted a video. No makeup. No filters. Just me, raw and steady.
Hi.
My name is Ava Bennett. I wasn't going to say anything more, but I think it's time. I've been quiet for too long, and silence is the only thing protecting abusers. I laid it all out. Not just Chloe's sabotage, but her pattern. I showed texts, voicemails, her recorded audio, Maya's statement with permission. I didn't name call. I didn't scream. I just told the truth. And I ended it with, this is not about revenge. This is about accountability. And I will not be shamed into silence ever again. I logged off after that. I didn't want to see the comments. But I did check one thing. The views. 5.6 million. In under 24 hours. It had begun. Chloe's mask cracked in real time. By the next morning, she deleted her accounts. Her sponsor deals pulled out. Her image was no longer a curated fairy tale. It was a shattered reflection. But I still wasn't free. She found a new angle. Victim. A burner account surfaced with posts about a narcissistic ex-friend who was jealous of success and weaponizing trauma for clout. People started speculating again, messaging me, some accusing me of being bitter, others praising me as brave. It felt like emotional whiplash. That's when I got the email. From Chloe. Subject line. If you don't stop, I'll release everything. Attached, an old voicemail of me crying after a fight with Liam. Screaming. Saying I wanted to disappear. A moment of weakness she had saved. To use. Like ammo. The message below said, let's see if people love the real you. Drop another video, and I dropped this. My hands shook. She wasn't done. She had weaponized my pain. I met Liam the next day. I didn't want to face this alone. He listened quietly as I played the voicemail. Then he asked, so, what are you going to do? I don't know, I whispered. She's turning into something worse. He leaned forward.
No, Ava. She's always been this.
You're just finally seeing it. I met his eyes. I want to end this. Then do it. But don't do it like her. Don't sink. He was right. I couldn't become her. So I posted again. Same setting. Same face. I've been threatened with an old voicemail I left while in distress by someone I once called a friend. Someone who has done everything in her power to silence me. I stared into the camera. So, let me be clear. Yes, that voicemail is real. And yes, I was hurting. Because being lied to, manipulated, and emotionally abandoned hurts.
Pause.
But I'm not ashamed of my pain. And I will not apologize for surviving it. I smiled. Nice try though, Chloe. I ended the video. That was the checkmate. Because people didn't judge me for crying. They judged her for recording it. And using it. That night, Chloe sent one last message. Not a threat. Not a denial. Just 4 words. You ruined my life. I didn't reply. Because she got it backwards.
She ruined her own.
All I did was stop letting her ruin mine. When the dust settled, I expected silence. But silence never came. What came was grief. Not for Chloe. Not for Liam. But for the version of myself I had to leave behind in order to survive them both. There's a strange kind of mourning that happens when you shed a life you no longer fit into. I was free but also exposed. Like standing in the cold with nothing to hide behind anymore. And even though the world now saw her for who she really was, they also saw me. The messy, unfiltered, truth-speaking version of me. The girl who stayed too long. Who trusted the wrong people. Who broke and built herself back. Maya came over one evening with wine and sushi and a giant fuzzy blanket she bought specifically for post-trauma nesting. She didn't ask questions. She just listened. "You didn't deserve any of it," she finally said. I nodded. But I allowed it. For so long. "That doesn't make it your fault," she said gently. "No," I whispered. "But it makes it my responsibility to never go back." We clinked wine glasses. A silent pact. No more pretending for comfort. Weeks passed. Then a month. Then another.
People moved on.
The drama that once dominated group chats and DMs and Reddit threads faded, replaced by newer scandals and flashier betrayals. And that was fine with me. I started writing again. Not for social media. Not for revenge. But for myself. Each word felt like a reclamation. Each journal entry a stitched seam on a previously torn page. Liam moved away. To Colorado, I think. He sent one last message before he left. "You were right. About all of it. I'm sorry I didn't believe you when it mattered." I read it twice. Then I deleted it. Some doors don't need to be closed gently. Some deserve to be slammed shut and locked forever. Then one day I got a letter. A real, handwritten letter. No return address. It was folded in 3 parts, ink slightly smudged. The handwriting was unmistakable.
Chloe.
I didn't want to read it. I told myself I'd burn it. But my curiosity has always been louder than my boundaries. So I opened it. The first line stopped me cold. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just want you to know the truth before I disappear completely." She wrote like she was someone else. Someone older.
Softer.
Wounded. She talked about her family. How her mother used to pit her against her sisters. How love always felt like a competition. How validation became a drug. How seeing me happy made her feel invisible. She admitted to things I hadn't even known about, like slipping lies to my coworkers when we worked together. Or contacting a guy I dated in college and warning him I was emotionally unstable. She signed off with, "I didn't destroy you because I hated you. I destroyed you because I didn't know how to be loved by you." I hope someday that sentence makes more sense than it does now. There was no apology. But for the first time I didn't need one. I threw the letter into the fireplace. Not out of rage, but release. Some stories don't deserve to live on in your drawer. Some truths are better left in ash. 3 months later, I met someone. At a book launch I almost didn't go to. His name was Ethan. He asked me what I did, and I told him the truth. "I'm learning how to exist without shrinking." He smiled. "That sounds like a full-time job." "It is." He didn't flinch.
Didn't try to fix me.
Didn't shrink me either. He just asked, "Can I walk beside you while you do it?" And he did. Not as a savior, but as a witness.
It's been a year now.
Sometimes I still think about Chloe. Not with hate. Or fear. Or vengeance. Just awareness. Like a scar that no longer stings but never quite fades. I saw her name once, on a niche podcast episode about navigating cancel culture. I didn't listen. I didn't need to. Because I finally understood something vital. Her story wasn't mine to carry anymore. I had dropped it. Left it in the rubble of the old me. And I never looked back. But one night, deep into the fall, when the air felt like change, I was cleaning out an old hard drive. There, buried in an unlabeled folder, was a video I'd forgotten about. From years ago. Me and Chloe. Sitting on my old couch. Laughing. Singing along to some terrible pop song. Her head on my shoulder. And for a moment, I felt something almost like nostalgia. Almost. Until the video cut suddenly. And I heard my past self whisper something into the camera I hadn't remembered. I love her so much. I just hope she never breaks me. And the screen went dark. I sat there, frozen. Because somehow, I had known. Even back then. So here's what I'll say now. To that version of me. She did break you. But you rebuilt. Stronger. Wiser. And no one will ever do it again. Because you finally learned that the most dangerous kind of betrayal doesn't come from enemies. It comes from friends who know where your soul lives and still choose to burn it. And you survived the fire. You became the flame.